I think that WWE has a huge decision on their hands when it comes to LA Knight and the Money in the Bank briefcase. I think he should be the only person to win it, and I'm going to tell you why. First, I want to compare him to the other contenders that are in the match. We have Ricochet, Santos Escobar, Shinsuke Nakamura, Butch, and lastly Logan Paul. Ricochet is more than likely in the match for the sole reason of adding some excitement and some crazy spots, and I just cannot imagine him being a world champion at all. Santos Escobar is also a great wrestler, but I cannot imagine him being a world champion either as of right now. He hasn't been built up enough, and he still needs to find that connection with the audience in order to be a main event player. Shinsuke Nakamura, he's only just started to find his feet again, and really, he's felt like he's had some new life injected in him since moving to Raw, but I think it's still too early for him to win it, and Butch is more than likely involved in the match just because it's a show in London in the UK. And last is the only other person I think who could be in contention to win the briefcase, considering his story with Seth Rollins. And yes, I'm completely ignoring the possibility of Roman Reigns being cashed in on, because it's more likely that we'll see Ric Flair have another match, if we're being honest. So forget Roman Reigns. I think Logan cashing on Seth would get him the ultimate heel heat, if the crowd did not already hate him enough. But I think the fact that he will hardly ever be present on WWE TV, and considering how little time he's spent in the wrestling business, it would be pretty useless to give him the win. Now that we've looked who he's up against, comparing them to LA, to me, it seems like he is the only logical winner here. But if that is not enough to convince you, let me go into further detail. The Money in the Bank briefcase, post 2014, has lost its prestige year by year. Let's just take a look at last year, for example. Austin Theory was added to the match about 1 minute before it started and ended up winning the briefcase. He would then go on to lose pretty much every match whilst he was holding it. He then cashed it in on the mid-card title, just to make matters worse, not the World Championship. And then he went on to lose that match. He failed to cash in on the United States Championship. The last great winner of the briefcase was 9 years ago now, which I cannot believe I'm saying that. 9 years ago, 2014, Seth Rollins. He created the heist of the century moment, my favourite cash-in ever, and probably will be forever. WrestleMania it was absolutely perfect. Enough of that though, let me go back to LA Knight. I think his charisma and his mic work whilst he's holding the contract would bring that prestige back and make it feel important again. He's also super over with the crowd right now, so putting it with someone who is both adored and entertaining will quickly make you forget all of the bad moments we've had over the years. The way he carries himself makes him a very believable guy to be in the main event scene. And just imagine the great promos you could have with Seth. I know that I said I wasn't going to mention Roman Reigns, but he could still have promos with him, a promo or two, without cashing in on Roman, just like Big E did. And I think it would be pretty iconic. Going back to Seth though, he is super over as a babyface, and whilst LA gets face-like reactions, he is still a heel that cheats to win, so a feud with him would go beautifully. Some fans will be chanting yeah, whilst the others singing Seth's theme. Both are great in the ring, so I'm certain a match would deliver. My final reason is that I simply think WWE owes him this honour as a reward for how fast he managed to get himself over with the audience, even against the fact he lost most of his matches since being called up to the main roster. He's such a captivating character that, to me, he embodies the 90s. I think if The Rock and Stone Cold had a baby, it would be LA Knight. On top of this, he also managed to do the impossible and survive that awful Max Dupree gimmick where he was demoted to being a manager to Mace and Mansoor, which is It's just disgusting. It's got to be up there with Vince's worst decisions of all time, I think. Thankfully, when Triple H took over, he set things right and he brought LA Knight back, which has been one of his best decisions. And LA Knight was the man. He managed to get that connection with the audience very, very, very quickly, even going as far as being the standout in the feud with Bray Wyatt, which is a very, very difficult thing to do considering how beloved Bray is by us fans. It's just a testament to how talented he is. Make sure to leave a like if you made it this far, subscribe as I get closer to 10k, and let me know in the comments if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you think somebody else should win. I want to hear your thoughts. Money in the Bank is getting closer. I cannot wait. It's going to be a banger show. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next one.